What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to Down to the Wire. I'm Brian Costa.
And I'm Tyler Stringfellow.
And welcome into the 100th episode of Down to the Wire.
Ooh, clap, 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 clap.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's give it a round of a hand.
Round of applause.
Good round of a hand right there. First of all, the 100 episodes for Down to the Wire. It's incredible to say it. I am so glad to finally, get to this milestone and acknowledge everything going on with this. Tyler, I know that I've brought you on now for probably about the last couple episodes. I know you've been along for a good part of it so far. Obviously, for me being able to reflect back on Down to the Wire at the beginning, I can tell you that it has transformed dramatically in the time that it's been here. And I know for you, it's, even in the 10 or so episodes that you've been here, it's transformed as well. It's a very interesting thing because of everything that's gone on with it. I ended up starting Down to the Wire with two of my other friends, my freshman year, Tyler Tucker and Carter Adams. I started with them in this very studio. I did my first ever episode sitting in this very chair, talking to them about everything going on. And I've been able to interview athletes of amateur and professional status. I've interviewed comedians. I've had the opportunity to talk with so many great guests and bring on so many incredible people, including yourself, to the show. And it has been an incredible ride so far. I am so excited for what I have coming next. But Tyler, I'll pass it off to you with your thoughts on the fact that 100 episodes into a podcast. Your thoughts?
I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, I'm proud of you, man. You started something that you wanted to. I mean, obviously, look what it's turned out to be.
Yeah,
this is cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's 100 episodes, and
this is cool. It's a cool, huge milestone. This is really, you're having a blast doing this. I'm having a blast doing this.
Yeah, no.
What's better than that? What's better than talking sports with your buds, having a good time, and creating some content for people?
Absolutely.
It's
a
good time.
I mean, listen, I love it, especially because back in high school, I was very into journalism. That was my big forte. I loved writing. I mean, I still consider myself to love writing. I haven't done it as much, at least on the creative side, but I used to really like writing about sports and doing stuff like that. I would go out and try to report on stuff and write columns and articles about it.
That's awesome.
And it was something that was always interesting to me. I mean, once I got to Bryant University, I joined the student newspaper my first semester because that was something I was really interested in. WJMF was interesting to me, but I never got involved with it until my second semester. The idea of starting a radio show was something on my mind. And I remember thinking, oh, how the heck am I going to get this off the ground? I didn't know how I wanted to start it. And
how do I get the ball rolling here?
Eventually I ended up learning that it only took like a 10-minute training session. I learned how to do it, and I basically just took off with it from there. I was able to really just go for it, and it was very easy. And listen, when I started, I had no idea where it was going to go from there, because when I went in, I had zero recording equipment. I literally would just come in here with my friends. We were talking to these silver mics, and essentially we're just like talking into the void. I had no idea what was going to happen. I had no idea of recording it or doing anything like that. Eventually I was able to recover some of my early recordings. I have my first ever episode on audio, which is something that I do really cherish, especially being able to hear all the differences.
It's a huge milestone.
Absolutely. I don't know if you can actually pull up the podcast on your phone. I could play a little bit of the first ever episode and see what it sounded like. I don't know if you have Spotify or whatnot, but
no, I don't do Spotify. I'm an Apple Music guy.
Do you have an Apple podcast?
No.
Okay. So I can't pull it up for you guys right now, but
I gotta download it though.
Yeah, no, it takes up a lot of your data.
Never mind.
It is a data.
I don't want that thing popping up on your phone that says like delete. You don't have enough storage on your iPhone.
Exactly.
Get out of here.
The Apple Podcast app does that. So
yeah,
you have to choose one. Unfortunately, it's very, very tough. But I'm lucky enough that I've been able to do it for so long and get into it now. And, being able to talk with so many athletes and so many different people, it's been amazing. I know you've only been on it for a shorter time this far, but what have been some of your, favorite moments so far?
Definitely. I mean, it's hard to pinpoint one of them because we've had so much fun.
Yeah.
But definitely one of my highlights was last week with, is Ethan?
Yeah, it was Ethan.
Ethan. Yeah. Ethan came on. And I was like, all right, who do you want? Schwarber or Martinez? On the count of three, let's say who we want. And we both disagreed. And it was hilarious. But, it was funny. I thought it was funny because I thought it was something different. To be like, let's get each other's opinions real quick.
And listen, with a podcast, that's what I like. I like new things. I like new ideas and trends.
You gotta be a little different. You gotta separate yourselves from everybody else. And I think you definitely, from the short time I've been here, we've, it's grown a little bit.
Absolutely.
And that's from the time I've been here. I haven't been here for so long, so I can't imagine how much it's grown since you've started this podcast.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
it's awesome. It's cool. It's cool to see somebody like being proud of their work. And I don't know. I'm all for it.
I mean, I love it so much. I'm incredibly proud of how far it's come, and I'm really excited for where it's going to go from there. Yeah. My favorite parts have been able to, go out and, find new people and talk about their stories and talk about why they got into sports, what got them interested, and, talk with people of all levels. I talked with, Sean Burke, who's a draft pick of the Chicago White Sox. I talked with Matt McCarthy, who's a professional comedian over and has worked in movies with guys like Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell. I've been able to talk with a lot of guys so far, and it's incredible, the relationships that I've been able to maintain, and it's incredible. So obviously to everyone who's been here along the way, to everyone who's been on it, thank you guys so much. It's been an incredible ride. But getting into it now, I do want to talk about some stuff in the sports world. So
here we go, baby.
Absolutely. Here we go. The first thing I want to talk to you, we were hinting at it in our previous episodes, and the ball has finally dropped, and Odell Beckham Jr. has made up his decision, and he is now signed with the Los Angeles Rams.
Thank God. Thank God he's not here.
Come on, man.
No. Get that come on, man, out of here.
No.
I'm glad he's not here.
Listen,
I'm so happy he's not here.
Listen, I don't know.
What's the I don't know?
Are the Rams?
Tell me what's the I don't know.
The Rams already have so much. They already have so much. And listen, I'm a Boston guy. I was talking about like the Rams being like a team that's like a fun team to root for. Yes, you feel great for Stafford, which I do. I'm interested in everything going on, but I don't know. Odell Beckham Jr. in LA, of all the teams that he could go to, LA is where he's a circus act in general. So the fact that he's going to basically the city where all those circus acts thrive,
it's probably one of the biggest markets in the sports world, LA.
Absolutely. Listen,
if not the biggest.
Listen, it's fitting that a clown is going, that him as a clown is going out there. But like, I don't know. I would have been interested to see him in other situations. I think him with the Packers could have been a cool fit to see him work with Aaron Rodgers. Now, I guess he ended up turning down the Packers because he didn't want to deal with their front office, which, with everything going on with Rodgers and the way they've handled that situation, he may have a point, which, I wouldn't ever have imagined.
But they lowballed him.
Yeah.
They big time lowballed him. They were like, we're going to give you the veterans minimum. And then apparently they were like negotiating, because that's what, happens with a deal like that. And they were negotiating with, and apparently they were negotiating with OBJ's camp, and you good?
I'm good.
Don't die on me now.
I'm not dying.
Don't die.
Go ahead.
But anyway, he apparently they weren't budging at all. They were like, veterans minimum, that's it, man. You're not getting a dime more. And he apparently was not pleased with that, which led him to signing with the Rams. Because if you looked at his list, it was the Saints, the Packers. Who was a third? There was a third team.
Saints, Packers. I think the Seahawks might have been involved. I think the Seahawks were involved.
The Seahawks were involved, but I don't think it was on his list.
Not too sure then. I'd have to take another look.
Was it Ravens?
The Ravens.
Chiefs.
Okay. Yeah.
It was the Chiefs, the Saints,
yes,
and the Packers. The Packers lowballed him. So he was like, no, I'm not going to Green Bay if you guys are just going to lowball me like that. And apparently went to LA.
Yeah.
But I like the move. One, because I like Matthew Stafford. I'm all in for them. You can't hate Matthew Stafford if you're a football fan.
Listen, you can't hate Matthew Stafford, but at the same time, like,
do they need him is the question.
Yeah,
but I have him on my fantasy team. I can't wait to see what happens.
I don't really think you need him in LA. I think Matthew Stafford is doing his job already. I mean, they've had themselves a hell of the past 2 weeks. I mean, they went out and got Von Miller for essentially nothing, and now they're signing Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, his salary, he can earn up to 4.25 million, but that's if he hits every single incentive bonus. I believe his base salary, it's 750,000, which, listen, that's nothing to play with. Like I'd happily
kill for that money.
I'd happily take $750,000 right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I'm broke.
I don't know what I'd do for that money, but I would do some stuff. But listen, I would gladly take $750,000 if it was given in front of me. But in the world of the NFL, that's really not that much. I mean,
no, it's not, especially for a guy like OBJ.
Exactly, for him. But and I guess $500,000 of his incentives is based on them winning a Super Bowl. So if they win it all, then he gets
go get that ring, baby.
Yeah, then he gets half a million. Ring. So listen, it's an incredible deal. I think that the Rams are going to be in an amazing place. But again, just remember, this is all to beat a 44-year-old.
Yeah,
this is all to beat a 44-year-old.
All to beat Tom Brady.
Literally,
you can't beat Tom Brady. So you're going to go trade for Von Miller, trade for Odell Beckham Jr., sign Jalen Ramsey to a contract, sign Aaron Donald to a contract, trade for Matthew Stafford. You're going to,
yeah. I mean,
that's a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Trade for Sony Michel, who's pretty solid running back in my mind.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't liked him since the Patriots Super Bowl season, though. He's kind of fallen off in my opinion.
Yeah, but he needed the right situation. I think LA is a solid situation for him. He's not the number one running back as Darrell Henderson is, but he's a solid key piece. And I don't know. I like the Rams this year, but to beat Tom Brady, he had to do all that. Like,
I mean,
wow.
I mean, it's still
Sean McVay.
It's still not guaranteed yet. They could end up like a team like the 2000. I think it was like 8 Eagles, or just like any of these super teams that just fall short. And
big time.
I mean, if they go out in like the first or second round, if they can't even make it to like the conference championship game, I mean, is their GM just out the door? Like
I feel like it could be, but just because they're all in on this year, but I feel like with the players they got, I mean, they could win next year as well, because all these players could be here next year. You never know. OBJ could sign to a smaller deal next year. Von Miller could stay.
I mean, listen, Von Miller,
and that's all that they're losing.
Von Miller could stay, but when it came to the Von Miller trade, I don't know. There's a lot going on with that. So I think there's a lot.
There's just a lot going on in LA.
Exactly.
They got a lot of superstars. Superstars.
Yeah. So listen, I frankly would have thought OBJ New England would have been pretty fun.
No.
I think Belichick can get guys under control. That's why.
Not this guy.
Why not?
Now, this guy is a grade A clown.
Okay. But
clown. Do you want me to spell it? Don't make me spell it. I don't know if I can spell it. CCLOWN. Clown. I killed him, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Clown.
Don't make me spell it. Oh my God.
Clown.
But listen.
Anyway, I spelt it. Actually, let me tell you this. This is just a joke on me real quick, but I was at practice today and my friend looked over at me and she was like, just randomly, if you could have a superpower, what would you have? And I pushed off the wall. I did one lap and I'm thinking about it. And I'm like, all right, when she touches the wall, what would be my superpower? And I look at her, I'm like, to learn to read. And she just burst out laughing. She was like, oh my God.
You're like Floyd Mayweather out here.
Literally. But anyway, I don't want OBJ here just because he's a cancer, man. The guy just goes wherever team he goes, he blows it up.
Yeah.
But he had Eli Manning. He blew up Eli Manning.
I mean, he had what was left of Eli Manning.
But it doesn't matter. OBJ is a loser. He plays like a loser still. He hasn't proven to me that he can play.
I think, I'm not disagreeing with you on OBJ's mentality. I think he's a crybaby as well. I'm not some OBJ sympathizer.
I feel like crybaby is like being nice.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm not a sympathizer of Odell Beckham Jr. I'm not like all world about him and all of his antics. But listen, I think that Bill Belichick has a track record of being able to get guys under control. Antonio Brown is his own story, because I think Antonio Brown was in the middle of like a mental breakdown, which I don't think Odell Beckham Jr. is in. Listen, you look at Aqib Talib, LeGarrette Blount, Aqib Talib, LeGarrette Blount, Randy Moss, a lot of guys he was able to get under control. I mean, the only other guy that you really want to throw out there, which I don't really think you want to name at this point, is Aaron Hernandez. But listen, that guy had his own freaking problems. I like two extremes. I mean, just to be honest with you. So let's just be honest here. Bill Belichick has the track record of being able to take relatively troubled players with a lot of baggage and turn them into quality players and basically take the talent and nothing else.
Okay. Here's the deal. You just compared him to Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is one of the greatest receivers I've watched in this generation. At least my generation.
I'm talking personality.
But listen. Okay, so you're gonna trade for a player on his personality? No, you're gonna you're gonna trade for somebody based on their playing ability.
Okay, so then,
OBJ has just been on a downfall.
Okay, but
the Giants traded him because he was on a downfall. I almost just knocked over that thing.
I was about to say.
But calm down, Tyler. But he's on a downfall. He was already on a downfall when he left the Giants. That's why the Browns that's why they traded him away. Yeah. Goes to the Browns, gets Baker Mayfield, who is a solid quarterback.
Okay.
He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. I can't remember the percentage, but he's very accurate. Now, you mean to tell me that Baker Mayfield can't get on the ball? No, dude, you can't get open.
Okay, but
you can't get any separation. And he drops everything. I do not want him here. Randy Moss was decent in Oakland. He wasn't what he used to be, obviously, when he came from the Minnesota Vikings to the Raiders. That's when he got traded from the Raiders here. He was still decent. He was still Randy Moss. He proved it. How long? I can't even remember how long he was in Minnesota for his first stint with Minnesota. He's there for like what, 6 years, 6, 7 years?
Pretty much.
It's a long time. OBJ was with the Giants like 4 years.
I mean, at the same time, though.
And then left.
Listen,
got traded. But Antonio Brown was coming off a pretty decent year. Just had a lot of the mental things, but he could still play. OBJ, he hasn't proven that he can still play at the rookie level he played at when he was a rookie.
I mean, but listen, you made your argument on not wanting to sign OBJ because he was a quote clown.
But he is a clown.
Okay,
but he still he's a clown that can't play. Antonio Brown was a clown that could play.
I mean,
I'd rather take a clown that can play than a clown that can't.
I mean, at the same time, though,
why would you pay for a clown if he can't perform?
I mean, if you're only paying $750,000, like,
but is it even worth it if you have a rookie quarterback and you can go and mess him up mentally? I mean, he's performing very well. This team is performing very well. Their new additions are starting to ball out. Matthew Judon speaks for himself.
Is Matthew Judon catching passes?
But listen to me. Matt, I'm just talking to. Don't give me that look.
Don't give me that look. Is Matthew Judon going deep on fly routes? Let me know.
All right.
Let me know.
All right, smart guy.
Yeah.
Now, Nelson Aguilar. He's been performing. Kendrick Bourne has been performing. Yeah. Jonnu Smith still hasn't proven really much. But Hunter Henry is balling right now. I wanted to make this a point. Brandon Bolden, where did he come from?
Yeah,
he's been on this team for a long time. If you're a true New England fan, you notice him. He's a big special teams guy. He's huge. Love that guy. But as a running back, I was like, he can't really play running back. But lately, oh my God, they made him burst out of the gate against the Panthers, like one of the very first run plays. Just burst out for like a 20-yard run. I'm like, who is this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Caught a beautiful pass in the second quarter, I'm pretty sure, from Mac Jones. And he's been balling out. We don't need Odell Beckham Jr. And two, we don't need his personality here screwing with our young quarterback and our young team. We don't need it.
I mean, listen, you can say call Mac a young quarterback all you want, but I think he's mentally sound enough that he can handle a little bit of drama. I think that I think that Mac, yeah, he's a young kid, obviously, like he is a rookie, but I think that he's mentally tougher than a lot of these other guys. If we had Zach Wilson right now, I wouldn't want a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. because I think Zach Wilson will fold under anything right now, especially, he's in that terrible New York has.
I feel bad for him.
Whatever talent he actually has, I think is going to get zapped from him.
I think it's already gone.
It's like Sam Darnold. I think that Sam Darnold at USC had a promising career ahead of him, but the Jets zapped whatever confidence, whatever talent he had. It couldn't compensate for all the bad teachings that the Jets have. If we had that kind of an atmosphere, then yeah, I wouldn't want that. But I think we have a good program around us.
We do. But I still don't want OBJ here.
Yeah.
He's just something we don't need. It's not worth the risk because he can't play anymore.
I mean, what's the risk?
There's my hot take.
What's the risk?
OBJ is washed up.
What's the risk?
The risk is ruining Mac Jones.
Okay.
Wasting money we don't need to be spending. Wasting money. That's just wasting. And I don't care if it's $1, dude. That's $1 we don't need to spend. I'm cheap. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, we spent too much money as it is.
Yeah.
But it's working out.
I mean, we spent $200 million in free agency. I think.
Yeah, and it's starting to show. Kendrick Bourne has been playing. Nelson Aguilar has been playing well. Jacoby Myers is still. I love him. He's got a couple flaws, but
still hasn't caught a touchdown yet.
He's still. That just blows my mind.
That's so.
He's still young. These guys are young, and I'm pretty sure Nelson Aguilar. He might not be really young, but he's in the middle of the pack, basically. I think I don't think he's 30 yet. But I love this. I love this team. I'm beginning to love this team because, like I said, they're young, they're motivated, and they're rallying around a young quarterback that when you watch him play, does he look like a rookie? Oh, no, he does not. Looks like a seasoned vet out there running the New England Patriots offense. Let me rephrase. Running the New England Patriots offense, looking like a seasoned vet, and he's a rookie.
Okay.
Tyler, that in itself.
Tyler, I have to ask you. So your hot take is that OBJ's washed up?
OBJ's a washed up.
Okay.
Yep.
Then
You
why?
heard
Then why
it
did
here.
5 minutes ago you said you're excited to see him on your fantasy team for the Rams?
I'm excited to see him. I wasn't risking to lose. I wasn't risking it because he's with Matthew Stafford.
Okay. You don't.
He's with Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
Kid, the guy can get on the ball, but
I'm not doubting that.
But I don't want him.
But if he's a washed-up receiver that can't catch, then why do you still why are you still carrying him on your fantasy team?
All right, because
yeah,
I'm on a 2-game losing streak and I need every point I can get.
Okay, but I mean, listen, I'm having a terrible season.
I lost Calvin Ridley.
Okay. Too. Oh yeah. Okay.
And Henry Ruggs.
Wow, that is
and AJ Green.
Yeah, that's
yeah. But anyway,
that's a rough week. I mean, I can't lie to you. That's a pretty rough week. But
appreciate it. But anyway,
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, I don't think he can play anymore. I'm curious. Maybe I hope I'm wrong because OBJ was amazing when he was like awesome. He's catching everything that was thrown his way, and those one-handed catches and warm-ups were awesome.
I mean, it was a cheat code in like Madden 17.
Yeah, dude, you could just throw it his way and he'd end up with the ball.
It was it honestly was too.
It's like Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
From Tech Mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still remember that that episode of Family Guy. They're like, oh, let's go play Tech Mobile. Okay, but you can't be Bo Jackson. He's a cheat code. And Peter's just like, all right, go. It just cheated.
I mean, literally, it's so absurd. But
yeah, there's my take. I think he's washed.
Okay. I mean, listen, I think he would have been. I think he could have been something nice to have in New England. But moving on in NFL news, something involving the Patriots that I did want to touch on, and sticking with the Patriots is Mac Jones might have a bounty on his head. I think he does. I think Mac.
He already did, but now it's bigger.
Yeah, I think Mac Jones officially now has a bounty on his head. So
$500.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but in Sunday's game against the Panthers, Mac Jones was obviously at quarterback for the Patriots, fumbled the ball, and in the process of doing so, Panthers defensive end Brian Burns was in the play, and he didn't end up having the ball, but Mac Jones was seen then in a instant replay video, then twisting Burns' ankle while Mac was lying on the ground. Burns is still upright, and Jones is seen physically just twisting his ankle, almost kind of what almost akin to Ndamukong Suh. I don't know if it was him who twisted ankles one before, but it was a similar act.
For any people that understand wrestling out there, it's like Kurt Angle's ankle lock, full on twist it, and then he'd hold it. Yeah, that's basically what it was. But continue.
And listen, looking back on it, it didn't look like the nicest play ever by Mac, and
it wasn't a dirty play.
Yeah, but listen, Burns ended up coming out after the game, and he ends up going, all right, listen, I just want an apology for what went down on the field, and I think we can resolve things from there. And Mac ended up just saying, listen, I thought he had the ball. I was trying to tackle him. And I don't know all the specifics behind that. I don't know whether Mac is lying and maybe Mac is the next, maybe Mac Jones is the Grayson Allen of football, where he's like, maybe he's secretly dirty and everyone just and he becomes that guy. I don't think he's the Grayson Allen of football, but I don't know. Is that how he's going to be pinned now? Like where he's making all these dirty plays? Because as soon as he decided he wasn't going to apologize, Brian Burns basically went out and he ended up saying happy hunting to all of my defensive end brothers. I hope that you have some fun against them. And we're playing the Cleveland Browns next Sunday. It's going to be an interesting game. And now I wonder what's going to happen there. I mean, I'm a little bit nervous as to what's going to happen to Mac Jones now.
Look at that.
Show it to the camera.
Look at this. You mean to tell me that this guy right here is going to purposely hurt somebody? This may be the goofiest looking guy I've ever seen.
Look at Grayson Allen. He's a goofy guy too.
No, not really. Not compared to this guy.
Pull up a picture of Grayson Allen. Pull up a picture of Grayson Allen right now. I will tell you, he is a goofy looking dude. I mean, Grayson Allen Duke especially.
Grayson Allen at Duke was a dirty player, but
he was so dirty.
No, see, this guy's got the smirk to him. This guy has a smirk to him, and I don't like it.
Go on the website to pull it up.
Let me just see. I don't like the smirk this guy's giving me right now. Yeah, no. You mean no? That he looks rude.
Flip the camera around. I mean, obviously, I think everyone knows who cares. I mean, he looks like Mac Jones with dead eyes. That's all.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, kinda.
No,
he looks like he. I don't know.
No. Okay, but here's what I'm trying to say. Mac Jones is not the type of guy that is going to purposely hurt somebody. I honestly really think it's against him. One, because he knows that Belichick would be complete BS.
If he was like intentionally injuring players on
like
the
as
field.
A quarterback, dude, when they're trying to hurt you already. I mean, you're a rookie. You already have a bounty on your head.
Like, what are you doing? like
he also milked it. He hobbled off the field saying he was hurt. But I watched the highlights again, and Brian Burns in the first half helped to sack Mac Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 1st and 15, and they sacked him. It's a 5-yard loss, and he came up hobbling, and his ankle was already beat up.
Yeah.
And then Mac Jones didn't injure his ankle. I don't know. So there's that. And 2, he thought he had the ball. And 3, when I looked at it, he really wasn't twisting it. It was more of just the guy was holding on to it because he was like, all right, I'm gonna hold on to this guy's foot until somebody comes and tackles him because he has the ball.
Yeah.
And then he like looks away. He looks at him for a second. He's like, oh my God, he doesn't have the ball. The ball's 10 yards away.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think Mac Jones was intentionally twisting ankles out there. It seemed that when I heard about that, I was like, that's like the wildest headline I think I've ever heard of.
Absurd.
But from what I remember listening to the game on Sunday, I believe these guys, I could be mistaking him from another player, but I do know that one of the defensive ends for the Panthers, and I believe it was Brian Burns, used to play against Mac Jones in high school because they ended up showing a video clip from 2014 of Brian Burns of what I believe to be Brian Burns and Mac Jones playing each other in a high school game.
High school beef.
Really? And apparently Mac Jones has like a vivid memory of being like really pissed off of Brian Burns like sacking him and fumbling. So like these guys, and like the fact that he's able to remember like a fumble from high school for him, which was in 2014, all the snaps he's taken since, but this still like rings true in his mind, is like very prevalent. It shows like how toxic high school beef really is. It's the worst. I mean,
bro, I've had high school beef before.
It sucks.
I got people here that I go to school with that we beefed in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And what do I say to them when I see them?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
It's high school, dude. Everybody's changed since high school. I mean, if you're still sitting on something from high school,
honestly,
I think you got a bigger problem.
I mean, high school beef is literally like the stupidest thing on the planet. Like,
well, when you grow up, you realize that. Like, you realize, what were we fighting over? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
2, what? Like, just.
But I mean,
what?
To see
why?
That, I think with like athletics though, a part of that like angst and like kind of like, you know, pissed off like kind of feeling like stays with you, especially since you're still competing. So I think for these guys, like,
well, yeah, I've had beef in my sport before.
No, I know. So I think with these guys, like, I think it kind of stays with them, and I think going forward, they're probably just like, oh, we're facing each other again, like all that old like rivalry and stuff is coming back up. So I'm gonna be interested to see what happens going forward. I mean, obviously the Patriots and the Panthers, they're not division opponents or anything, so they're not playing each other often. So
yeah, no, they don't play each other for a while.
Yeah, pretty much for 4 years. So I'll be interested to see what happens the next time something like this, you know, maybe the next time these two cross paths or whatever happens. So it would most likely happen if Burns was to go to another team, because I think the Patriots are keeping Jones on lock for a good period of time. So it really depends what happens there. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but moving on in NFL news, staying in Carolina, however, there is some very, very interesting news which we had to report on, and it is that Super Cam is returning to the Carolina Panthers. Cam Newton signed a 1-year deal worth up to $10 million, $4.25 million guaranteed. So Superman Cam Newton is back in Carolina, and listen, you know what? Good for Cam Newton. If he wants to be with the Panthers, I mean, he kind of
belongs.
Yeah, Cam Newton kind of won in the situation, because the Panthers ended up releasing him saying, oh, we have better options. We know what we're doing, and we don't think he can do it anymore. And listen, Cam Newton went to the Patriots, and it really didn't look like he could do it anymore. But to be frank,
it didn't work.
But to be frank, none of the Panthers options worked out any better. So,
okay. See, just to pause right there real quick before we keep going about Cam Newton. Teddy Bridgewater is good. I don't know why they had to get rid of him. He's good.
Yeah.
He's balling out in Denver right now. He's a solid quarterback. I don't know why everybody keeps giving him a hard time and like not believing he can play anymore.
I don't mind Teddy Bridgewater, and I like his story, but the fact that he's getting moved around this much, it at least says it
annoys me, really.
It at least says that the Panthers didn't have faith in him. So I mean, listen, you can talk up Teddy Bridgewater as much as you want, but the Panthers didn't move on from him because they thought they had a better option. And you can
Sam Darnold.
Yeah, you can
Great
like
option.
You can like that reason, or you don't have to. But the Panthers, after 1 year of signing a quarterback to a big contract, ended up saying, no, we want to get out, and we want to get out from this, which just proves how much of a failure that is. I mean, if I think they signed him to like what, a 3-4 year contract. If you're trying to get out of that the first year,
I'm pretty sure it's a 4 year.
Yeah, if you're trying to get out of that the first year in, that's a major sign of trouble, regardless of how the guy's playing. If you don't think that he can fit with your system, then that's a failure on your part, especially with signing that kind of a contract. So whatever they've done at quarterback they haven't been able to have the consistency that they had with Cam Newton. Now, especially with Sam Darnold. Now, I was hopeful for a guy like Sam Darnold coming in. I mentioned it earlier on the show. I think that he got absolutely screwed by the Jets in the early part of his career. I think that he got a terrible deal. So if
you're a college quarterback, you better pray you don't get drafted by a New York team. Let me just tell you.
If you're a college quarterback and you see that the Jets have the first pick and you're the projected first pick, I would consider going back another year.
Yeah, I would too.
At this point, if
Eli Manning that.
If the Jets had gotten the first pick, I would have advised Trevor Lawrence to go back to school, because I would have been like, you don't want this. You're gonna
ruin your NFL career, kid. Like, if you stay here.
Like, listen, the Jacksonville Jaguars are no prize, but at least I don't know. At least they're at least you're in Florida. I guess that's
I guess that's the only upside.
I guess the weather's better. Like, I mean, listen,
you're playing bad, but at least the weather's nice.
At least the weather is nice.
The stadium has a pool.
Yeah, you can enjoy yourself. So I mean, that is the one plus. But Cam Newton going back to the Panthers. I mean, this is a very obviously very interesting move. Personally, this move is all about selling tickets.
You think so?
It's all about selling tickets. Listen, obviously Sam Darnold is out and injured right now, and they have PJ Walker, who, his last, he's played in some NFL games since, but his last big thing football wise was being a starting quarterback in the XFL for the St. Louis Battlehawks. That was his last, real true thing. So listen, PJ Walker, love him to death. He's a great guy. When the XFL came about, we had a running joke on this show of us all being St. Louis Battlehawks fans. That was kind of the running joke early on and down to the wire when, we had Carter Adams on the show. He started off as our quote XFL guru, and
the XFL was pretty cool.
Oh, it was awesome. COVID ruined
something
a lot.
Good.
COVID ruined a lot of things, but the fact that it took away the XFL was so atrocious. I mean, it was atrocious. Luckily, we are getting it back next year, which I'm really excited to see how that works out. Yeah, The Rock bought it.
The Rock bought the XFL?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Wait a minute. I saw that. Yeah. He's a co-owner.
Yeah. He's a co-owner of the XFL. So that's coming back in 2022. So
I'm all for it.
I can't wait to talk about the XFL again. That'll be so fun. I'll have to get Carter on to talk about that, because that'll just be an amazing joke to have.
I think it should be something different,
No, it really is.
Look, Tom Brady won the Super Bowl again. Come on, dude. Just retire.
Yeah. But listen, again, credit to PJ Walker where it's due. But at the end of the day, I think this Cam Newton thing is all about tickets. Because listen, PJ Walker is going to start this Sunday, because Cam Newton, regardless of him being in Carolina, there is a new playbook. So, and he also hasn't played, so he's going to have to be on the sideline for like maybe a little bit. But as soon as the opportunity presents itself for him to come into a game, the Panthers are not going to hesitate. Because listen, they know what's going to sell tickets. Because listen, Sam Darnold's fine, but you bring Cam Newton, which Carolina loves and adores. If you bring him back into the fold, they are going to sell out, and like they're going to sell at the stadium.
So
it doesn't matter how he plays, just them seeing him back in a Carolina Panthers uniform, knowing that
after everything he did for them,
exactly, knowing that there are Cam Newton Panther games ahead, he could go out there and suck. Which frankly, I think there's a greater chance that happens than anything. I think that he could go out this season, and frankly, this could honestly be his swan song. He could go out this year, play it out, and then he says, you know what, I got to go back to Carolina. My options aren't great. I'm going to walk away from the game of football.
Yeah,
that's a possibility, because
after too big of an ego for that.
After the seat, what's up?
I think he's got too big of an ego for that.
Why?
I don't know.
I mean, I think he would have had too big of an ego to walk away after the Patriots. But if he has the opportunity to go back to Carolina, play in football games there,
wins the Super Bowl
with his fan. Listen, let's bring it down to earth here.
He wins the Super Bowl. He rides off in his sunset.
Oh my God! If listen,
with the little Play 60 kid.
I can't.
Or Mac Jones.
Yeah, pretty much Mac Jones. But there's a chance that Cam Newton could consider this his last season in Carolina, in my opinion. Especially if he isn't back to what he is. If he's what he was in New England and he's just, riding out in Carolina, I could see it where he just wants to go out in the city that took the shot on him at number 1.
So I can see why you would say this is for ticket sales, but if you look, they needed a quarterback real quick. And if you look who's out there, who's out there for quarterbacks? Can you even tell me? Other than Cam Newton, Colin Kaepernick.
I mean, yeah, but he hasn't played in 5 years now.
Exactly. No, get him out.
It's not happening.
But
listen, it's not
Cam
happening.
Newton is a guy that knows the playbook, a guy that's been in championship situations before, a guy who has proven that he can get to the Super Bowl. He hasn't proven that he can win it because I think he got a little rattled quick. They rattled him quick, took him out of the game.
Yeah.
But he's proven that he can take this Carolina team to the promised land. Now, I'm not saying that that's what they expect him to do, because there's no way. They don't have the team for that. They don't have a team to go play and compete for a Super Bowl. They just want to make sure they can get as many wins as possible for the year ends.
Yeah.
But I'm all for Cam Newton being in Carolina. What's not to love about him going back to the city he loves? Love or hate him, good. I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
But I'm a little sad for my Cam Newton Patriots jersey, which I should have worn. Yes, I bought a Cam Newton Patriots jersey.
Did you lose a bet or something?
Nah, bro. Listen, hear me out.
Oh my God.
Hear me out. So do you remember when Dwayne Wade went to the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Yeah.
I almost bought that jersey.
Jesus, that would have
been
atrocious.
Dwayne Wade on the Cleveland. What are you talking about? Everyone who sees those jerseys is like, why would you buy that?
Yeah.
Dude, he was only here for 4 games. This is iconic. This is rare. It's a gem.
Oh my God.
Think about it. Cam Newton was only here for a season.
Yeah.
How many Patriots Cam Newton jerseys are there? Not that many.
Yeah, there's more than you think, Tyler.
I'm just gonna pretend he didn't say that, but there's not that many.
I gonna be pretty honest with you there. It'd be one thing. It'd be one thing if you had a Pat's Tebow jersey. That would really
My
show.
My friend has one of those.
Then your friend's a die.
I got a Reggie Wayne Patriots jersey.
Okay, that's actually sick.
No, I wish I did.
That actually would be kind of sick,
wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be sick.
Poor Reggie Wayne. Anyway, but I'm happy for Cam Newton.
He crapped all over the Patriots when he was here.
I know. But so did Darrelle Revis.
Okay.
And he literally won a Super Bowl here.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Yeah.
Who does that?
I have no idea.
I'm going to go to New England, win a ring, and then when I retire, I'm going to crap on him.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, no. I mean,
yeah, get him out of here.
Yeah.
Get him out.
You mentioned quarterbacks for possible guys for guys that Panthers could have brought in. Listen, I think for optics reasons and for selling tickets,
Johnny Manziel.
No.
Oh, okay. That's where you're going.
It's a man who is currently listed as retired and just finished up his first season as a high school football coach.
Phillip Rivers.
Yes. He actually has expressed some interest in possibly coming back to the league.
Yeah, with the Saints, not the Panthers.
I mean, but that was
Saints have an opportunity to win.
That's before the Panthers injury arose, though.
No, he wouldn't go to Carolina. No way.
He went to Indianapolis.
But Indianapolis was built to compete. And they just needed a quarterback. Granted, I think they could have done a lot better last year, but that's besides the point. He wasn't going to go to Carolina. If he was going to go anywhere, he's going to go to New Orleans. Go to New Orleans, play with Sean Payton, and Alvin Kamara's down there. Mike Thomas is down there. What's his name? Marquez Callaway. He's pretty good. He's a rookie, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's pretty decent, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But anyway, Mark Ingram's back down there. They got a solid offensive line. That's, I think, your key selling point if you're a quarterback, especially if you're Phillip Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a good offensive line, that's a huge selling point. He's like, all right, I'm older. I want to make sure I don't get hit as much. And that's going to keep me from getting hit. If I go to Carolina, I'm going to get beat.
Yeah.
And as you saw, took out Teddy Bridgewater last year. They took him out a couple times. And already took out Sam Darnold. They take out McCaffrey all the time. But that's just because McCaffrey's made of glass. Yeah. But no, he was not going to go to Carolina because he's old. He was going to get beat up. I stand by that.
Okay. I mean, listen, you can stand by that all you want, but at the end of the day, I think that this Cam Newton thing was mostly for ticket sales. I'm going to stand behind that and just say, yeah. I mean, listen, this is all
definitely part of it.
This is all for selling jerseys. I mean, listen, from what I saw in New England, I don't think that Cam Newton can compete at that level anymore. I mean,
what we saw in New England was just a complete
meltdown.
Yeah.
Cam Newton got undressed. He was undressed in New England. I mean, just like as an athlete.
He wasn't Cam Newton. He wasn't Superman. He was just, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And what did you do with Cam Newton?
Yeah, no. It was like, I mean, have you ever seen Thunderstruck?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was essentially like that. Like someone took Cam Newton's powers, and you just have like the 6'4" quarterback here.
Just like a complete nothing.
He's just like, I have no ability to do anything right now. Like,
R.I.P. Kevin Durant.
Exactly. Kevin Durant's, I mean, yeah.
Holding the nets over, off topic, but he's the only one holding the nets together at this point.
Pretty much. But I think that concludes what we have in NFL news. So now over into MLB, I have one quick headline for you, and it is that JD Martinez is back. Obviously, it was announced earlier in the week that Martinez ended up signing or at least opting into his contract for the 2022 season. So obviously, very glad to see this news. There was a lot of speculation as to whether JD was going to opt out because a lot of people are saying that the universal DH is going to be coming in 2022. So people thought that it was going to be a greater opportunity for him to maybe land a 3-4 year contract and get a lot of money from other teams. But he ended up seeing the Red Sox as his best option and decided to stay there. So I'm psyched by this move. I'm glad that JD's back, but it now has me interested as to what's going to go on the rest of the offseason. But your thoughts first.
JD Martinez.
Yeah.
I love that he's here.
Mm-hmm.
I love that he's back. What's not to love about JD Martinez? I read something. Let me see if I can pull it up right here.
Mm-hmm.
JD Martinez. Where are you? All right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just reading this. It's about his one of his managers. He said that obviously 2020 was disruptive for him. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Shortened season.
Mm-hmm.
He started working to get his swing back, yada, yada, yada. And he wanted to be the best version of himself to hit free agency. And he thought he would do that after another season with Boston, where he's feel comfortable, which is very solid.
Yeah.
And I get that. He wants to make sure he's going to hit the market at the top of his game, which is whatever any man with common sense would do. But apparently, like the owners of the Red Sox supported his decision. And they told him they're going to make every effort to make this team more competitive. So he decided to return. Yeah. And it just shows that he loves the city. What's not to love about Boston?
Yeah.
Boston gay. He's like, go Sox. But anyway, it's nice to see a big star in like a sport come to Boston and be like, whoa, I accidentally just fell in love with the city.
Mm.
You don't see many athletes that come here from other places and be like, wow,
yeah,
I love this city.
Mm-hmm.
You're drafted here.
Yeah. And then you eventually are just
and then you're like, whoa, I'm too good. I can't leave this place or else my house is going to get like egged or something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
worse than that, but we can't say that on air.
No, we cannot. But proves that he's got faith in this team. He's got faith in the front office. They're going to make some moves. They need to make some moves defensively, especially, outfield a little bit, and maybe one or two moves in the outfield. And then, their infield and pitching, specifically pitching.
Yeah, pitching's going to be key for us this offseason.
You can't rely on Chris Sale and what was it? Rodriguez? What was his first name again? Eduardo. I'm terrible with names, dude. I'm awful. But I get the idea. Rodriguez pitched great. I hope he's here. Is he a free agent?
He is most likely going to reject the qualifying offer, and then the Red Sox are going to try to offer him a deal.
Okay, good. I hope he stays. If he stays, that's good. That means we got two, and you got Nathan Eovaldi. That's 3 solid pitchers.
We need more.
No, but you at least got 3. You're not saying it's better than 1. It's better than 2. You got 3. Now expand on that, because if you have 3 already, that's leverage for people coming here. All right, I don't have to be the main guy coming to this place. You're gonna offer me a good amount of money, and I can fill in for whenever I need. I don't have to be their ace. Mm-hmm. Chris Sale's the ace, and then there's Eovaldi, and then there's Rodriguez. And depending on who you bring in, you move those names around a little bit. But Chris Sale pretty much stays at the top. Chris Sale is the ace here in Boston. But it makes it a desirable place.
Yeah.
In my mind, I feel like it does, because it takes a little pressure off people. We saw what happened to Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
And for the Yankees, the pressure got to him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the pressure got to him a little bit.
A little.
And you can argue all you want. Maybe he's burnt out. Maybe the pressure got to him. Maybe he had an injury, anything. But for me, I saw the pressure got to him. And if you have three or four solid pitchers that you can 100% rely on, Pivetta too. You got Pivetta. Pivetta's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. I probably put him fourth on that list. But anyway, so you got that. That's desire. You know, puts the Red Sox in a great position to attract pitchers here.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it does.
Yeah.
Did you mean to tell me you're going to want to go to a team when you're the ace and you're going to have to get relied on all the time? Like, yeah, that's nice. Some people can handle it, but at some point it takes a toll on you, man.
Yeah.
And Chris Sale is a different person. Like, you know, he's amazing. He can handle the pressure. He's shown up before. He won us a World Series because he was the last pitcher standing.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, I got this. Showed it. Awesome. Love Chris Sale. Evaldi can do it. Rodriguez showed it this year, this postseason. He showed he can put up a fight. Pivetta. Oh my God. We put Pivetta in when we went to extras. And he pitched lights out. He threw a pitch, started walking off the mound, and then they called it a strike. And he's like, I knew it was a strike. It's not coming.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a desirable spot here in Boston when you got pitchers that you can rely on in the bullpen already. Or the arm barn, whichever term you want to use.
It's the bullpen. I'm sorry. Yeah,
that is the bullpen.
Yeah, no, Pete is not taking that one. I'm sorry. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Dumbest. But listen, I'm really excited about this move. I like JD coming back, but I'm interested to see how the Red Sox one approaches. Now, they are saying that they are going to be all in trying to get this talent and do what they can. But at the same time, it seems like they don't want to stray away from their Moneyball mentality, which frankly, I really hate, because I think that, again, Moneyball, it has its uses. It can help you, be financially sustainable down the line and make some choices for, some middling guys. But when it comes to getting like the top free agent available, if you're the Boston Red Sox and you have the ability to get a guy, I mean, listen, I don't want you going out there and signing contracts that you don't need to sign. I don't need you cashing checks that you can't clear. But if there's a guy that is worth getting, go out there and get him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I have to really say on that. If there is a guy that you can consider within your realm of possibility, go out there and make that move.
Go all in on it.
Exactly.
Because this is
Boston. Because listen, I don't know what the situation with Kyle Schwarber is going to be, because
that's a whole different situation.
Yeah. Now that we essentially have our DH, are they going to bring him back? I mean, I don't know. Heimblum might have some more inclined interest in bringing him back, because he even said like, oh, we don't want to like spend all these prospects and get rid of all these guys, but we even spent a big price enough to get our marquee guys and Kyle Schwarber. But at the same time, Kyle Schwarber was traded for the 19th overall prospect in the Red Sox system. That's not a lot, in my opinion. I mean, listen, the 19th prospect, valuable. He was I think he was like an A-ball pitcher, which is fine. I mean, I don't think you're going to lose all that much, but in Heimblum's mind, does he value that enough as I traded a valuable piece, so I need to go re-sign him, or does he say, at the end of the day, it was an A-ball pitcher. I'm gonna make my moves in free agency. Yeah, that's what I'm interested in seeing. Like, how much does Heimblum value his guys versus his philosophy?
Yeah.
Is there a guy that he brings in and says, oh my God, I want this, like I wanted this guy, and now money's gonna get in the way. Am I gonna now go against my philosophy, or am I gonna or am I gonna stick true to it?
Yeah,
that's what I'm interested in seeing.
Well, it's nice because this is the Boston Red Sox we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's already a desired place to go. In my mind, in itself. This is a team that's, no matter who is on the roster, they're always competing.
They're always competing. The ballpark's always full. So, it's a great environment to play.
Absolutely. It's a great city.
Yeah.
I mean, what's not to love about that? We sell out like weekday games for crying out, like 2 p.m. Yeah, we sold out.
Yeah.
Who does that?
They'll have the worst times, but they somehow get bodies in the park.
Exactly.
I don't get it.
I think that's going to factor into people coming here.
I hope so. I mean, listen.
I mean, I would. You mean to tell me you're not going to want to go play like a team like the Red Sox, like the Yankees, like the Dodgers right now, and like the Lakers when you go to the NBA, the Celtics, the Patriots, the Cowboys, the 49ers. Like, there's teams that have these legacies.
But listen,
want to do that?
Boston has an incredible legacy. Exactly. And as a fan, I adore it. But I always feel with Boston, they always have the impression, I feel, to a lot of people, of being second fiddle to the Dodgers, to the Yankees, to obviously those two grand franchises. And while I don't necessarily agree that we are second fiddle, and I believe that we can compete, I believe
in
that
other people's minds,
I believe
it's
that we
different.
have the funds, I believe that we have all this stuff, and I think we have a great culture and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I think in a lot of people's minds, it's like, oh well, but it's not New York, and it's not LA, and it's not Chicago, and that's a thing that kind of rests in a lot of people's minds.
It's not a warm area.
Yeah.
It's not a great big city. Boston can be a big market, but it also can be a very small market.
Yes, exactly.
It's a big market if you make it a big market.
Baseball is one of the areas though where it can thrive. So in baseball, it can thrive for free agents coming into Boston. One area that it has been incredibly tough though for is the NBA. The NBA has been incredibly tough with getting athletes into Boston. And
I don't know why.
It's tough. I mean, I
think I know why.
Yeah, there's a complicated history with getting guys into Boston, but it's very, very difficult with that's one area where I know it's difficult. Football, it's kind of middle of the road. It's more flip of a coin. Hockey, I really have no idea. I don't know enough about the free agencies stuff in hockey. I don't even know how that goes about. So baseball is usually your best bet with getting guys into Boston. Football's a toss up, and then basketball's 3. So you still can get guys like, you can get like the third best, option available.
Yeah,
so
I mean, even landing JD Martinez was pretty big.
Yeah, exactly. So you're able to get guys like that, and you can get big market players. So it's usually a matter of how much they're willing to put in. So because I mean, listen, whether you liked them or not, Pablo Sandoval and Hanley Ramirez were considered big moves according to what was on the market. Now, did they work out here in terms of what we thought they were going to do? No, not even close. But when the Red Sox signed Pablo Sandoval, it was like, oh my God, they went out and they got the guy. So they can sometimes go out and they can go out and steal a free agency. It's not that it's impossible. They can get a Chris Sale, they can get those guys, but it's a matter of them. But it's the consistency of it.
To kind of to kind of help you lean into our next topic a little bit.
Yeah.
You brought up the Celtics real quick.
I did bring up the Celtics.
And you said it's kind of hard to land people here. And I kind of want to just touch on that real quick before we go into what we're going to talk about next.
Yeah.
But it's hard. I feel like it could be hard to land big free agents here because look at these teams we've had in the past. We've had some good, solid, deep teams.
Mm-hmm.
And they just have not done anything.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like mediocre.
Mm-hmm.
Like you look at them on paper, like, oh my God, Isaiah Thomas, MVP front runner, all this stuff. And he's averaging like 28 points a game. And then now you got Kyrie Irving came here.
The year that
Gordon Hayward came here. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. But these teams aren't performing.
Yeah.
What could be it? That could be something that leans toward why, oh, dude, I don't know if I want to go to Boston. Well, why don't you want to go to Boston? Because look at these teams they've had. They've had some solid, skilled teams all around, offensively, defensively teams. And they haven't produced anything.
Yeah. Essentially, what I've been afraid of with Boston is that they're going to become, talent-wise, because you have guys like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and you have those incredible players, and they're, the dynamic duo that they are. I'm worried though that they're not going to figure it out. And I mentioned on the last show, and they're going to become essentially just a better version of what Kyle Lowry and what DeMar DeRozan were with the Raptors.
Yeah, we
touched
on that.
It's starting to feel like that because it just seems that there's like some sort of stagnation.
It's like a power struggle.
There's a power struggle. They don't know. They're trying to compete for themselves right now. They're essentially two Carmelo Anthonys, if you think about it, where Carmelo was with the Denver Nuggets and he was all about, his personal accolades, doing things for himself and trying to get all these scoring titles, trying to get an MVP.
James Harden.
Exactly.
Kyrie Irving.
Exactly. It was like that. But you have two of them that are competing equally as hard, and they're not really trying to help each other and pass the ball to each other.
The team.
Exactly.
The stat padding.
So they're almost competing.
Russell Westbrook.
They're almost competing against each other, even though I think they're decent enough friends, but they have that competition to essentially be, oh, I want to be the all-star. Oh, I want to get this first team honors.
Oh, I want to take the game-winning shot.
Exactly. So that eventually comes into play. And what I'm worried about is it's going to take these guys till maybe they're 32 years old to where they realize, oh wow, I've gotten all these accomplishments, but I haven't been able to make it into the NBA Finals.
No. And then you got, like, I remember I talked about it last time. You got Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. Those guys haven't figured out.
Yeah.
They're literally the same person.
They will do whatever it takes to win. They don't
exactly. Steph Curry doesn't care if he scores 2 points or
there was
200 points.
I think there was a meme one time of Klay Thompson. I think he had like 9 points one time, but he's sitting on the bench smiling away. He had 5 fouls.
Yeah, because Curry had like 52 points.
Yeah. So he didn't care because they were winning, and he ended up saying, you know what? Curry had the hot hand that night. I'm gonna feed him. I'm gonna go out there and do what we need to do to win. And
exactly. That's what it should be. And feed the hot hand.
Exactly. So that's what I'm afraid what's going to happen with these guys. I think there needs to be something that clicks with them and makes them go, oh, wow, there is something bigger than all of this. And what and to now kind of transition into that topic that you were mentioning, it was that, it's tough to bring guys into Boston. And a lot of the time, the way we have to do it is via trade. We had to trade for Kevin Garnett. We had to trade for, I think, Ray Allen as well. And we had to bring those guys in here to set up a big three.
The only big name that I could think of that we brought in was Gordon Hayward.
We brought in Gordon Hayward. We brought in Al Horford, I guess you could consider.
Yeah, Al Horford.
Another
we traded
big name.
for Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, we traded for Kyrie Irving. A lot of the big names that we brought in here recently have had to be via trade, regardless of how it is. And because it's just tough to make an appeal to bring guys into Boston. It's just not the area that they want to come.
Desired place, because all these guys want to go out west.
I would fire the Celtics marketing team. I don't know what they're pitching to these players, but it's not working. So, but on the topics of trades, 76ers GM Daryl Morey is currently in a heck of a bind right now. He's trying to find out how he can get Ben Simmons out of Philly, and I guess he ended up bringing the Celtics line. And according to Shams Charania, Daryl Morey, he ended up calling the Celtics, got Brad on the phone and said, hey, we want to trade. We want to give you guys Ben Simmons. And Brad was probably like, okay, so what's the deal then? And this man proceeds to say, all right, we want Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, and a protected first-round pick in exchange for Ben, just straight up. Oh, no, Ben Simmons and Danny Green. We'll throw in Danny Green. You know what Brad did? He hung up the phone. He ended up saying, I'm not dealing with this BS. Because, listen, Ben Simmons, regardless of where he stands, no one wants him anyways right now.
He's a diva. I can't. Okay.
Ben Simmons
I gotta find something for you.
And then listen. Ben Simmons has all the leverage in deciding how a trade goes at this point. He can decide how much, listen, Daryl Morey has no real power in this. Whatever a team offers for him, he's most likely going to have to accept for Ben Simmons. I mean, if the Celtics went through with that deal, there would be like pitchforks, like, going outside the TD Garden of how bad of a deal it is. Oh, I love this. Yeah. So
I was just looking this up.
So you have Ben Simmons scouting report. I love this. I saw a TikTok of this the other day.
Here we go. I'm about to read you Ben Simmons scouting report coming out of LSU.
I love this. I have seen this before. I'll have you show it to the camera at some point.
So it says Simmons' lack of competitiveness in crucial games has raised questions about his character. Those who know him best say he needs things to revolve around him on and off the court, and that he's often been close-minded to coaching and instruction. Now, to put it into simple terms, he doesn't like it when the attention's not on him. He doesn't like it when he doesn't get the ball. If he's not getting the ball, he's just going to sit in the corner and whine and cry. So basically, he's OBJ 2.0. And he doesn't he can't shoot. And the coach says, all right, Ben, we're going to step aside from practice, just you and me. We're going to go work on your shot. And he's like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm good at everything else. Why would I need to work on my shot? Dude, literally Giannis Antetokounmpo is working on his shot. He's knocking down some floaters and some three. He can knock down a three if he needed. It's going to be ugly, but he could. Ben Simmons can't shoot at all. And it's a problem because you get Ben Simmons the ball. Where's everybody going to go? Right to the paint, because that's the only place he's going to go. Was he going to dunk on you? No, not if there's 7 guys standing in front of you.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Ben Simmons and his
antics.
Yeah, his antics have always just sent me over the hill. And I can't with it anymore.
And I don't want him here.
Yeah, no, I
want a guy that works hard. Boston is filled with a bunch of people that work hard.
Knowing Boston fans, they would boo Ben Simmons the second he's on the court.
They'd probably boo the entire team.
Yeah. They would want Brad Stevens fired for even thinking about that. So I think
adding three key players for the Boston Celtics
and a
protected.
I mean,
pick.
Listen, if you had to think of a deal for Ben Simmons, you could get, if I had to trade for Ben Simmons and it was just on the table that it's like, okay, we're trading for Ben Simmons. I ended up talking with Andrew Barron, who you had you were on the show with him a couple weeks back.
Yes, sir.
So he actually, so in his mind, this is what he said he would do as a deal for Ben Simmons. He said, I would do Marcus Smart, either Langford or Neesmith or one of those guys, and a pick. That's he said that's as much as he would go. And I think that's the most you could get out of a guy like that. You're not trading Rob Williams and getting all of those guys. As soon as you say Jaylen Brown, it's over.
As soon as you say, for me, it's as soon as you say Marcus Smart, it's over.
I mean, listen,
I'm not doing Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is one of the best defensive players in the league. You need that.
He's one of the best defensive players in the league. But listen, in the idea of trading for Ben Simmons and wanting that value, that's the most value I would be willing.
What value are you talking about?
In terms of the value that he's built up, just being the guy he is.
Ben Simmons value? What are you talking about? Dude?
That's the most you'd be willing to get for him out of me.
Dude, I wouldn't give up anything for this guy. This guy's a bum.
I don't want him, but if you're talking about,
I can't. The 76ers are stuck.
Yeah.
Nobody wants this guy.
Yeah.
Nobody wants him because he's diva.
Yeah, no.
Why would you want this guy?
No one should.
Please tell me if you're okay. Look at me right now. You're a GM. You're a GM of the. Give me a team.
The Jazz.
Okay, you're the GM of the Utah Jazz, and you see Ben Simmons is on the trade block. What goes through your head as a GM?
There's nothing on my team I want to give up for him.
If I'm the GM and someone goes Ben Simmons on the trade, I go, good luck trading him.
Yeah,
I'm not giving up my team. I'd rather waste 3 first-round picks just drafting players than risking this goon.
Because he still doesn't freaking shoot.
Dude, he's been voted the All-Star game twice.
Yeah.
Because his name is Ben Simmons.
That's it. That's all that gets him in there.
That's literally the only thing that gets him in.
If he was taken in the middle of the draft, no one would care about him right now. It's because he's the first overall pick.
No, yeah. And he was drafted a front of Jaylen Brown and Lonzo Ball.
No, Lonzo Ball was in next year.
No, he wasn't. No.
Lonzo Ball was in Tatum's draft.
Brandon Ingram.
There you go.
It was Brandon Ingram. Because in the next year, it's Fultz,
Ball,
Tatum. Right. You are right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Ingram, Jaylen Brown, studs. Only one of those guys has been voted to an All-Star game.
Yeah.
But I think Jaylen Brown has been a little underlooked, but he's been getting better every year. But Brandon Ingram balled out last year for New Orleans. Balled. Was it last year? Either way, he's been balling out.
Yeah.
For New Orleans. I think he's in the right situation now. He needed a small market. That guy's balling in a small market. Good for him. Happy to see it. Good guy. Great player. Ben Simmons. Yeah. You're a joke, dude.
Yeah.
He's a joke.
No one wants him.
You can't be in the NBA and be closed-minded to coaching and instruction, and you can't be getting mad when the ball does not get in your hands. You have Joel Embiid on your team. Joel Embiid is one of the best players in the league, one of the best big men in the league.
Mm-hmm. I mean, listen, like I don't want anything to do with Ben Simmons at this point. There's nothing I want from him at this point, and frankly, I think that
get him away.
I mean, listen, the Philadelphia 76ers are screwed, and eventually they are going to realize that they're going to have to trade this guy for pennies on the dollar. And any team that gives up anything above that is literally just throwing away your players, because you're getting a guy that is just a cancer to your locker room. But
exactly.
But going from there, Tyler, it is now 8:30 here in the Koffler Center, and it is time to now say that we are now down to the wire. So obviously, we're going to go through everything we talked about this episode, and we will send you guys on your way into the weekend. And first of all, we started off by talking about the fact that this is the 100th episode of Down to the Wire, an incredible accomplishment. The fact that I didn't think 100 episodes was ever going to even be possible. So the fact, I remember recording the 50th in here literally just before summer break. So the fact that I've done 50 more episodes, just over the course from May till now is incredible. It's, I've obviously ramped up the amount of episodes that I've done since. I remember when COVID hit, I didn't do a show. I did one show. I did a quarantine special, and then I did not do a single show till I got back.
Quarantine.
Till I got time. Yeah. I didn't do a single show till I got back to campus in the fall. Wow. I just gave it a break. Wow. And then for winter break, I did not do a show for that entire winter. But since then, my goal, I haven't met it every week, has been to do 2 shows a week for you guys, Wednesdays and Fridays, and get up an episode at least twice a week. That has been my goal. I've tried to do it as much as possible. in my opinion, I've succeeded more than I failed. So that has been something that I'm glad about.
Just to speak on your 100th episode right now, I remember when I met you, dude.
Yeah.
Remember I met you in Management 201. I was sitting in the class. I walked in, and you sat down. You're like, "Hey, what's up, man?" You talking to me like you knew me for 5 years. Like, this kid, this is my kind of guy.
Yeah.
And you were talking to me, and we were just talking for a while. Oh, sports, cool.
Mhm.
Okay. And you're like, "Yeah, dude, I got a radio show." I'm like, "No way." He's like, "Yeah, I gotta, I was like, "Oh, what are you doing after this?" Something like that. He was like, "Yeah, I got a class." I'm like, "Oh, what class you got?" He was like, another comm class in Koffler. I go, "Oh, no way. Who's it with?" He goes, "Monte Calvo." I'm like, "Oh my God, dude, I'm in your class." And he was like, "Get out of here." We just hit it off.
Yeah.
Great.
It's been
great. This guy's a great kid. I don't know if anybody out there has 100% met this kid. He's a great guy. This is a great show to listen to. He makes a lot of key points, and 100 episodes, man, that's accomplishment in itself. And I'm proud to call him a friend, proud to call him partner here on the show. And I'm proud of him. 100 episodes is just a huge accomplishment, huge milestone.
Likewise, man.
Let me tell you, did you really think you'd get to 100?
I mean, I had no idea where
exactly
I was going to go with it.
Did not know where.
I didn't.
Just the ball's rolling, and
I didn't even think that I would have been counting episodes. I had no idea how many I would be doing, because I didn't know. I didn't have the idea of even counting them. That's how little it meant to me at the time. But then once I really got into it and really dedicated it, that's when it got big for me.
No, so dude, this is cool. I'm glad you asked me to come on here that first time. I can't tell you how excited I was. I told like all my friends, like, "Oh my God, like, you're not gonna believe this," and they're like, "That is awesome, proud of you." I'm like, yeah, it's going on. The best part of it is we're going on with a good kid. Good, absolutely, great kid. Consider him a very good friend at this point, and I'm speechless because 100 episodes is awesome.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Well, obviously that was a great thing that we were able to cover during the course of this episode. And as well, we were also able to talk about OBJ going to the Rams, the Panthers defensive end Brian Burns, essentially putting out kind of a
bounty.
Yeah, a bounty on Mac Jones.
But put a target on Mac's back.
He really did there. So it'll be interesting to see how things go this weekend against Myles Garrett and company when they roll in.
Davion Clowney.
Yeah, that's going to be
a nasty front seven.
It's going to be very interesting to see how Mac Jones handles them this Sunday. I don't know if there's going to be a little extra angst on Cleveland's side. We also talked about Cam Newton going back to the Carolina Panthers and everything involved with that. We talked about JD Martinez opting into his final year of his Red Sox contract. And finally, we wrapped up talking about Daryl Morey giving the worst trade offer I've ever seen for Ben Simmons to the Boston Celtics.
Understatement.
And promptly getting hung up on by Brad Stevens. And Brad, you're proving you're a masshole every day, man. Love it so much.
Love it.
I love this move so much. So thank you, Brad, for keeping us all sane here. And thank you guys so much for listening in for all these episodes. And if you guys are not following Down to the Wire yet, it's our 100th episode. So you might as well do so. We're available on Spotify. We're available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, anywhere you guys can find, podcasts and radio shows in general. But the main hub you can reach us through is our Instagram. You can find that at down.tothewire on Instagram. Again, at down.tothewire. Thank you guys so much for listening to our 100th episode. And from Down to the Wire, I'm Brian Costa.
And I'm Tyler Stringfellow.
And we will see you guys next time. Take care.